For centuries, humans have relied on farming with soil, water, and sun to provide food, but as the population continues to rise, it's becoming clear that modern farming practices are not sustainable. Runoff from commonly used nitrogen fertilizers is especially dangerous in a country like Denmark with high access to shallow sea areas. The runoff allows nutrients in the water to cause algae to grow, depleting the oxygen level in the water and killing fish and other marine organisms. Fertilizers also emit nitrous oxide, a greenhouse gas 300 times more potent than carbon dioxide. With traditional farming methods, much of the water used to hydrate crops is wasted through evaporation, absorption by weeds, and seepage. Farming causes the top layer of soil to thin and erode and exacerbates other soil-related problems such as consumption, nutrient imbalance, pollution, acidification, and loss of soil diversity. Transporting produce long distances from farms to cities adds to greenhouse gas emissions and results in food waste due to the spoiling of produce before it can reach store shelves. The amount of time transportation takes also contributes to nutrient loss. It's clear that the farming practices that are widespread today are not environmentally sustainable. Our social enterprise, Urban Oasis, will aim to overcome these antagonistic assets by creating new complementarities through education and training in urban agriculture and sustainability, and empowering individuals to take ownership of their food production to promote healthier lifestyles. By utilizing vertical farming techniques, we can minimize the environmental impact of traditional agriculture and create new complementarities between agriculture and sustainability. Urban Oasis will use a farming technique known as vertical hydroponic farming, which grows plants in water rather than in soil, injecting the nutrients directly into the water. The lack of traditional nitrous fertilizers means that the technique produces almost zero nitrous oxide emissions. Hydroponic farming methods, despite growing plants in only water, are more efficient due to the recycling of water in the growing system. Since vertical hydroponic farming does not use soil degradation becomes a non-issue. Studies show that cities are responsible for 70% of the world's carbon dioxide emissions. Increasing the number of plants in cities such as Copenhagen can help to mitigate this issue. Plants can absorb up to about a third of carbon dioxide emissions each decade as they take in carbon dioxide to provide food for themselves through photosynthesis. Urban Oasis will both grow and sell produce directly in cities, which will help lower emissions by decreasing the distance produce is transported. Since vertical farming is more space efficient than traditional farming, it can be integrated into more crowded urban areas, meaning food can be grown locally in the city rather than brought in from farms further away. Reduced transportation time also results in less food waste from spoilage. While urban farming has a multitude of environmental benefits, Urban Oasis also aims to tackle social issues. Urban farming and gardening have been shown to reduce crime rates in crime-ridden areas. Denmark is a safe country overall, but has higher crime rates in its larger cities, particularly Copenhagen. Introducing more vertical farming and gardens to Copenhagen with a specific focus on high-crime areas could lead to reductions in criminal activity and greater social cohesion. Urban Oasis would also seek to improve agricultural literacy and sense of community through in-person urban farming classes. A study from Aalborg University in 2014 revealed that agricultural literacy is decreasing in Denmark, which is contributing to challenges with interpreting food labels, reduced cooking abilities, and greater consumption of highly processed foods, which can lead to public health issues such as obesity. Our enterprise would provide classes to both schools and the general public in our vertical farms to help combat this issue. Food insecurity is not a widely discussed topic in Denmark, but it remains a problem. According to a study at the University of Copenhagen from 2018, 6% of households in Denmark have low or very low levels of food security. Our mission to educate people about growing their own food as well as our sale of affordable, healthy produce would aim to mitigate this problem. Our estimates show that the total startup cost would be approximately 2 million Danish crowns and have a profit margin of about 20%. Based on our revenue projections from our income generation strategy and the estimated startup costs, our social enterprise is likely to reach the break-even point in approximately 8.5 months. We have also considered state funding options for social enterprises and sustainable agricultural activities. The Danish Ministry of Food, Agriculture and Fisheries has over 10 years granted more than 2.6 billion crowns to innovative initiatives in sustainable agriculture. At the seed stage of the startup, we would expect to receive state funding of approximately 1 million Danish crowns. In addition to that, we would ask you, our investors, for 900,000 crowns in exchange for a 30% ownership stake. The stake would grant rights to control over significant decisions such as raising additional capital, taking on debt, or making substantial changes to the business model. Urban Oasis has a vision of a greener, more harmonious Copenhagen. We welcome you to join us on our journey.